I just look ugly. Never clean that?
No, I didn't clean it.
Hold on.
Get
Can I go for something?
quickly. Bang, 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 bang. Chat Bout Flim, episode 2. Big up. Anybody commenting so far?
Ain't nobody there. So.
Ain't nobody there? Ooh.
Instincts to drive.
Instincts himself, Jason Lannerman. That's his real name.
Yeah?
I think it's Jason.
Jason the vote?
Yeah, no, not Lannerman.
Not that about.
Which side is me? Which side? Okay.
Alright, you're Gigi order. Say something, Gigi.
Say something, Gigi.
Alright, you're gonna have to talk louder.
Say something, Gigi.
Yeah, there we go.
Ha!
Alright. Take a sip of water. With no brand water.
Drinking water.
Yeah, see me?
Fuck you, baby.
That's right. Alright, last test.
Yep. Good to go.
Okay.
What are the name?
Good to gizzle. Alright. Boom. Alright. Welcome back. A lot of people liked the episode last week, so I just want to formally welcome back everybody to Chat Bout Flim. Now, just for those who may be seeing this for the first time, for those who may be seeing this for the first time, Chat Bout Flim is a Jamaican film and TV show podcast where basically we just give yard perspective on everything that have to do with film. You understand? Anything to do with TV shows, local and international. So let me just start off by introducing myself. I am Simon the writer. I'm a writer. I'm involved in filming. I work for Just Bus TV, things like that. And I'm working on scripts and things like that. So that is my love for film. I've loved film from a very young age. And I love talking about movies and TV shows. Today's guest is none other than my cousin, Jamar Reid. Big up yourself.
Yo. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on Chat Bout Flim. This has been a long time in the making.
Trust me.
A very long time in the making. If you ever know much conversation me and Simon have about this from just the inception of the idea. So it's a pleasure to be here, to be doing this finally.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to today's episode with you, mostly because we live together, so we're always talking about movies. Always talking randomly about TV shows. Might as well make a show out of it.
True, don't it?
All right. For the viewers out there, I also want to.
Let's not forget. Let us not forget.
I also.
What the hell?
I also want to big up my co-host, my off-screen co-host. You see, this is what happens when you don't want them on camera. This square is so small. We have 2 microphones that I forgot to introduce you. I just want to big up my co-host. It is primarily a podcast, so for those listening to the podcast, you won't know she's off camera. But for those on YouTube, I want to big up Jheanelle Levy, my producer extraordinaire.
Hi, my name is Jheanelle Levy. I'm Simon's friend. I like talking about movies with him. I enjoy fuckery.
Straight up.
Straight up. So, with that said, let's first thing I want to also say is that yes, it is a podcast, but for those who are watching the stream and for those who might be on IG Live, just know that if you send your questions in, there is a section at the end of the podcast where we're going to try and answer questions if questions arise. If not, we'll take questions throughout the week and we will answer them next week. But we will have a question and answer section. All right? Today's topic is a very interesting one. We're going to talk about summer blockbusters. I think it's really cool to talk about summer blockbusters based on the fact that we didn't really or haven't really been given a summer. You see me? So we kind of want to talk about summer blockbusters of the past, because what makes a summer blockbuster is first of all being released in either May, June, July, early August.
Yes.
Early August, because in America school starts in August.
Yeah.
So it's a movie from one of those months, firstly. Secondly, it's movies that are meant to bring big crowds.
Yeah.
Movies that are meant
True.
to entertain the masses. So you find that these movies tend to go across niche. You know, like if you're a real indie type of person, you might still like a summer blockbuster.
True. And I mean, it's something, if you look at the history of summer blockbusters, especially those really, really huge ones, them tend to draw people together. It's like the talk of the town.
True.
Yo, dog, you watch that movie there? Are the baddest thing.
Right? And another thing about summer blockbusters is that it's a spectacle. And it's expected or trying to break the bank. That's what makes it a blockbuster. It's trying to break the bank. In any case, that is for later down in the episode. Gigi, what's the first thing we're going into?
We're going into our hot topic. And our hot topic is this secret movie that Zendaya and Denzel Washington's son. We know he has a name.
What's his name?
His name is John David Washington.
John David. So they did a secret movie, like a COVID movie?
Like an underground movie?
They shot it.
Did they actually shoot it under the ground?
No, they didn't shoot it under the ground.
Oh, crap.
But they had to shoot it with COVID protocols in secret because, you know, you're not supposed to have like people more than 10 or 15, depending on the state, together. And we want to hear your views on that, Simon.
Well, my question would
Jamie.
be for the hot topic, or I would ask you, Jamie, how do you think COVID has affected the movie scene? How has it affected the film industry?
Wow.
Seasick question.
Yo, no. One thing for sure. It has forced the movie houses to be a little bit more prolific in putting out material. Because right now people are consuming material like, whoa. Everybody is home. Everybody wants to consume something.
Everybody watch all the Netflix already.
Oh, Jesus. Everybody run through Netflix.
Netflix done.
Netflix done. And
the fact that people watching Warrior Nun?
True. And for who have Hulu and Amazon Prime. So it definitely have forced content creators to be a little bit more prolific in releasing materials and creating new content. So it's a win for the consumers.
Right. Another factor. Another factor that I think we have to look on is the fact that they have to also be creative in what they give out, based on the fact that their main cash cow don't exist right now.
True.
The people. You understand?
True.
So a lot of movies that were going to come out got postponed. Like James Bond is not going to stream the movie.
Yeah.
James Bond, No Time to Die is
that's not true.
Gonna sit down and wait until people can go in at the theater and spend up their money. You know, somebody.
But I tell you this. Them eventually, even though that's short term, them are wait on that real thing there. In long term, them have to go to streaming, because what is forced a lot of people to do. People are buying up home theater equipment like fucking now. So you're going to find that more and more people going to find it less relevant to go to the theaters.
But you know what's funny though? And Gigi, maybe you can do a little Googling of this for me. You don't have to answer no. But are the numbers saying that though? Because from what I'm hearing is yes, we're not denying that streaming has risen. Home theater buying has risen, right? But what I'm more hearing, because every Avengers is breaking records, all the big movies are breaking records. People are before COVID, first of all, before COVID, people were running into the theaters still, because at the end of the day, they're not able to buy an IMAX screen. You know what I mean? And
Fine.
And what I'm hearing, what I remember seeing is, people are just watching way more movies than they would have. So when
before buying tickets and going to
meaning, let's say I would go theaters twice a month, right? Let's say I would go theaters twice a month. That's an example, right? That person who went twice a month 10 years ago. They will still go twice a month this year now. It's just that they now are watching a lot more movies. So the movies you would have said, boy, I'm not going to pay to watch that. They can watch it now with streaming platforms. They can kill the time with that streaming platform.
True.
Legal streaming platform.
Legal streaming platform.
Right.
And they
That's how we
still
speak about it.
and they still will pay the money for that movie they want to watch. You know? Yeah. The masses, the main and a lot of these movies, they're not losing it's the indie movies that might be losing the most. You see me? But the blockbusters, like the secret movie. But the blockbusters, they were
still
gaining. They were gaining in numbers. You see me? But I think the COVID factor now put a different twist on it, because those decisions that were made in people going to the theaters or not were more lifestyle preferences, you know, or social preferences.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now these are health choices. You understand? Which we're going to talk a little bit more when we go to something local. But it's going to be a struggle to tell somebody who thinks they're going to die to get up and go to the theater.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So not necessarily disagreeing, I'm just saying that the numbers weren't being hurt as much as people thought, because people just consumed way more movies.
Well, okay. Is it that the movies were being consumed, or the things around the movies were being consumed? Meaning the Avengers merch or those things?
Well,
was it the movie itself that was made?
The money that I'm talking about is box office sales.
Okay.
I wasn't talking about overall profits.
Okay.
Isn't me? And
it's just hard to believe.
But if you look on the records, the records for highest grossing movies
so
are.
I'm speaking from an ignorant place.
No, but I'm just saying that, like, Avengers, the last few Avengers are in top box office sales. Do you have the box office numbers in front of you now? What you should be doing? Oh, for the record, last week's guest, Shane Morris, is also a producer, so you might hear him. I might hand him the microphone at some point to chime in on an opinion. Nothing is wrong with that. Right?
I'm just closed.
There's a 25.
Overeating. Try using Instagram again after your phone.
Okay.
This is overeating?
You?
Yeah, we can sign into IG after. I just like.
Mm.
All right. So, with that said, now back to the hot topic itself, which is.
Right.
So there's this movie. Do you have the name of the movie or no more details?
Malcolm and
Marie is a secret movie, right? This secret movie is being. How we should put it? It's being shot in secret, you know, because they have to go to COVID protocols. And I think that can also affect quality of films. You might find actors who don't want to go around people because of COVID. You might find less workers will be available.
Well, all right. While all of that is true,
so this is
it might actually be the opposite, because you'll find that the people that actually be working on this film might be people that are passionate about it.
Yeah.
And therefore, the effort that goes into the movie might be even greater than if you were to hire like a random cast.
Yeah.
So I mean, it can go both ways, but I mean, we won't know until we see the final product. When we see the final product, then we'll know, like, was this thing positively affected by how it was shot, or was it adversely affected?
What I also find really interesting, what I like about this a lot, is the art itself isn't being held back. That we know we can figure ways around it, just like how sports figure their way around it. You know what I mean? To still create it. Because when I heard that Handmaid's Tale was postponed. When I heard that Handmaid's Tale was postponed, I was a little disappointed because I really wanted to see the new season. But then I also understood what was happening with COVID. Yeah, I also understood what was happening with COVID. So we just have to kind of see what is being done, how people are going to go around it, how things can be filmed. You know, we're not gonna have no Zoom movie. Isn't it?
Yo, you know, say. If we could have pulled that off, it would be so cool.
If you could
a
just
Zoom movie, a movie shot entirely on Zoom.
Oh,
so
That's
It
I
would-
don't know how
it
you
would-
do it.
No, it would.
Entirely shot on laptops. Let's set up the
Exactly.
laptop.
Well, there was
That would have been
There
a
was
mad
an
first person
episode of
perspective.
there was an episode of Modern Family, but
Where
they
they all
copied
shot on
they
their
copied a
phones.
movie that did that with the guy from Harold and Kumar, the Chinese guy. He did a whole movie where it was done like seeing him from his camera screen, from his
Like a
webcam.
webcam.
Yeah, his daughter, yeah,
Yeah, just end it.
Here you go.
his daughter went missing, and basically what was happening was he was on his laptop trying to figure out where his daughter was.
Yeah.
So it was as if we're seeing through his camera, with like where the feds
Yeah, watching him.
watching him, and then you could see him pop up his just like that episode of Modern Family.
Mhm.
You know, so you could see it pop up him talking to people through iChat, through iMessage,
Okay.
through,
okay.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
You saw him scrolling through him Facebook, all of that, which is literally Modern Family.
You remember that,
Okay.
what was it? The show with.
Oh, but it jumped in with news things.
The show with Phoebe from Friends. She was the black double.
Yeah.
She was a therapist, a web therapist. The whole that whole TV show was shot like she was a web
Yeah.
therapist. That
Yeah.
was it. It was
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll look into
Yeah.
that. All right. Anything else you want to add about the hot topic?
No.
Gigi?
I think it would be kind of stressful as an actor to go on every day because they had to do COVID tests every
Every
every couple days or weeks or something. And then after a while they stopped because everybody was just quarantined to the set and didn't move.
Mhm.
But the COVID tests show something up into your brain.
No, it's stressful.
Yeah,
So
no,
you
but
have to do that.
they have new tests though that do that.
And they're rich, so they probably have
Yeah.
it. You're right.
Yeah, it's Hollywood.
You're right. You're
So
right.
after the first nose shove, they're just like,
Oh,
What would
no. The dear one. there.
who
We'll
have
pay
to
for
pay
that.
to tell them we did the test? Yeah, every 3 days. Okay, sure.
But just I know Buenos Simon.
Mhm.
And it was
sorry, what was it? The theater thing and box office thing.
right.
The statistics actually show that the reason why the box office has maintained and had such exuberant success is because they keep raising the ticket prices.
Mhm.
Not necessarily that
Right.
the tickets are being sold.
But in actuality, it had
It
a
was a
25%
25% decline
decrease
in
In actual numbers.
In ticket sales.
Okay, well, all right. I'll just take those stats in my face. But I think what the main thing I was still looking at though is that the blockbusters were still surviving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and not just merch. So when it comes to certain types of movies, like this didn't hurt them as much, which is why I said the indie scene was hurting the most.
Mhm.
But then you have certain companies that have their fans, like A24 and those companies that make films like Get Out and Midsummer and those type of movies. People going to come. People going to come. Yo, Midsummer.
What's on my phone?
Jesus Christ. I don't want to talk about Anyway, what's the section, Gigi?
The next section, we're gonna move on to trailer review.
Trailer review. Hold on, let's see if we can fix. Oh, we don't need to because it's not on. Give me the tablet. Yeah. Start the trailer. Today's trailer that we're going to watch is
Quiet Place 2.
Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, this
I
sounds
don't
to be
know why.
interesting. I'm yet to see it. So
Yeah. Play it. Don't
It's like
tell
Quiet Place.
don't tell him to bucket it.
when next remember.
Get off a chair. It's fine.
Boy, girl, no.
Shane, it's quiet this and that. Look, hand just crawl out on the weirdo. I love how they're gonna make it a prequel sequel.
Is that what it is?
Well, that scene that you saw was before.
Oh.
So, and then they're going to show the after Quiet Place 1.
No, but boy girl was grown up in that.
Good point. Maybe. Is it the first year seeing this trailer?
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, whoever did the art for those aliens, top tier.
Yeah, them bad.
Was that Give Us a Scream?
Yes. All right, pause that.
Well,
So, Quiet Place Part 2 would have been out by now, but COVID has forced it to be postponed. So, it would have been maybe a summer blockbuster.
it would have been.
Maybe.
But I think it's one of those movies that were a little bit underrated at first. And then as soon as people started catching on and watching it, like Blu-ray, streaming or whatever, I think it's on Amazon.
Was
Prime.
it in the theaters
I
or was it just
watched
out there?
It definitely was in the
Netflix.
theaters. It was in Jamaica theaters, and I wanted to see it in
Okay.
theaters. I missed it.
I never get to watch it. I didn't get to watch it in theaters, but I watched it on Netflix.
Yes, that's
Right.
where I watched
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Did you put on big headphones?
Big headphone. Listen, this man, nigga.
Oh, right.
I mean,
Whoops.
what the hell about big
what
sound system?
what I actually love about Quiet Place 1, and it's funny because I didn't necessarily want a sequel because I personally believe that Quiet Place 1 has one of the best movie endings that I've like ever seen.
Yeah.
Like the way Quiet Place 1 ended was amazing to me. I mean, everybody here has seen it, right? If you haven't seen it, cock your ears. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Don't actually care. It's been out for a long time. So when it ended and they figured out how to kill the alien, and then she just goes and just cut the shotgun, I was just like, yo, people are dead. It was just such a bad man moment, and then the movie just cut, and I was like, yeah. I saw you're done moving at people blows and skirt face.
Trust me.
Just done moving upon you.
Happens, yeah.
And then I heard a sequel. I was like, oh, it never done in number 50. It never done. So it's like,
you know, what was my thing?
Mhm.
I think it should have been much more hyped up, much more highly rated. Because look on a show, I'm gonna tell you why.
Mhm.
When you look on a show like Bird Box, whenever it came out,
Oh my god.
too long.
Oh my god.
Yes, don't it? Bird Box got this hype and it was just like absolute garbage.
oh, God.
You know,
Yo,
I'm not gonna say it's
yo.
absolute garbage. I'm
It
not gonna
is,
say that.
it is absolute garbage, but
I'm not gonna
it could have been good.
Okay.
Oh,
But the hype that it got.
You know how it
was
could have been good?
oh.
If
It was undeserved.
look up Bird Box guy. What's his name? John Malkovich guy. Is John Malkovich his name, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
him.
Being John Malkovich. No,
I thought you meant his character name.
his character, no, because the movie being John Malkovich. I forgot that was his actual name. John Malkovich character. If they made a movie about him, it would have been a good movie. I hated the fact that I was John Malkovich whole movie. Like, listen to him. Him telling you the
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not talking about Bird Box. We're not talking about bird shit. Shit box. We're talking
Well, that's
about
all birds doing boxes, by the way.
shit.
Shit.
If they wanted to get
So we're talking about Quiet Place, and from the writing, the dialogue, the moments, how they build characters, and I think that was also Bird Box's biggest flaw. They did not give us good character development.
No.
And I think in the Quiet Place, they kept it small, they kept it simple, and they developed their characters, and that meant that when the time came,
You cared.
you cared what happened to the characters, and you didn't know what angle they were going to take.
True.
You know, and any movie brave enough to kill the hero gets my respect. You see me? So
Why aren't more people killing the heroes though?
I think
I mean,
heroes
after all the
heroes
Yeah.
die in the good movies.
Yeah.
In the good
heroes
movies.
are there.
The thing about it is, which leans into the topic that we're talking about, which is blockbusters, where
Yeah, okay.
you can't go unpopular. You can't go unpopular. You can't fully go unpopular. So that is why I think they kill a lot of
you know, something like, and I dare to bring this up, but Game of Thrones, not the first to do it, but did it so well.
Yeah.
It proves that you can build characters that people love and kill them off, and build even better characters, and still kill them off.
But can you do it over 2 hours? You see me? Ned Stark died in episode 9.
Yeah.
So they had 8+ hours to build and kill. So while I get you,
yeah.
You see me? There's there's that contrast. I was gonna take a half second to just say, Shane, for the IG, what you can do is maybe just take a picture or something and just say go to the YouTube channel where so you can call to action so they can go there. On my Simon the Writer. So back to the podcast.
You want to just do okay.
No, I'm anticipating Quiet Place 2 because I have faith in the writer. I think John Krasinski might be the writer. Gigi should have up Quiet
Written
Place.
by
But the guy from The Office, and I think that's another thing too. I think people didn't really believe in him yet.
because he was still Jim.
He is still Jim from The Office.
That was
the father in Quiet Place 2.
Oh, don't hit me, but
you haven't watched The Office.
I haven't watched The Office.
John Krasinski.
But
Krasinski.
I rate him.
Krasinski.
I rate him because he was so good in 13 Hours, Secret Soldiers of
You know what?
Benghazi.
That caught me off guard. I didn't really like the movie, but when I saw him, I was like, okay, Jim.
Didn't like the movie?
It was okay. It was okay. It was good for Michael Bay. It was good for Michael Bay, but it was no.
Your face is like, wait, what?
It wasn't great. It was okay.
I don't even know what movie that is.
It was a Michael Bay 13 Hours in Benghazi. Bro, it's not no Saving Private Ryan.
Dog.
It's not no.
Where you watch it, fun? First of all, where you watch it, fun? Let me just ask you that.
My laptop.
There you go.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, but if its only strength is its sound, then it might not be a great film. It might sound great. It got an Oscar nomination for sound.
It sounds awesome.
And remember, sound is
I liked it.
which is fine, bro.
I quite liked it.
It's fine, bro.
It's
It's a blockbuster. It's fine.
I mean, I got it bootleg.
No, you did not. You have
you
the
did
Blu-ray.
not. No,
We
you
watched.
did
No. The
No.
first time
Jamar.
I watched
No, you did not.
Jamar, we both watched it on the Blu-ray that you legally bought.
it. No, I know.
And okay, cool. And okay,
but I have the Blu-ray,
yes.
and you guys should buy the Blu-ray.
Only point that matters.
It's worth. It's worth.
You should not pirate.
Oh no. I watch it on Netflix as well. That's
Yeah.
how I watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Netflix we pay for monthly. Thank you.
Yeah. Netflix.
I watched it on your Netflix.
Cool. All right. With that said, I'm looking forward to Quiet Place 2. I think it's going to be a real interesting story. I hope they don't go all pop or try to do things to please the crowd or sell us out, because I'm always wary of sequels. But Aliens was really good. Lethal Weapon, Godfather 2. I mean, it happens. So
Sometimes.
let's see.
Okay.
What we have going on next?
Something local, and we're going to talk about your experience at
Yeah.
movies. You should be 6 feet away from him.
1, 2.
You're going closer.
4.
You're coming closer, bro.
Because
6.
this guy went to Carib, which pre-COVID was not the case.
Anyways, for those listening, if you have a minute to spare, please go to @Chat Bout Flim on Instagram, and I put a little video out there of my experience with the reopening of Palace Cinema. Now, let me tell you.
Talk the things.
Let me talk the things. Now, first things first, it wasn't all bad. And there were a few hiccups that I will say I don't think is a normal thing for them. I do think that something may have gone wrong. Well, obviously, I know something went wrong. But first things first, I was concerned there might be a lot of people. But for the time that I went, I don't know if they planned this. They changed the time to 4:45. Now, I think that they were working around the curfew. So they're trying to start earlier to finish earlier so they can get in them ads and them intermission and make the money them trying to make. Because said hot dog probably sell more than ticket. I mean, everything costs more anyway.
More than pre-COVID, as in prices are higher for snacks?
No, just by the time you're done buy...
People won't go.
No, by the time you're done buy a hot dog, popcorn, and a soda, it costs more than actual ticket.
Oh, I know that, but I'm saying, have the prices
Not really.
spiked since...
I don't remember.
Okay,
You know me, just
cost more than like a regular ticket or more than...
Yeah.
I'm just splash of cash.
Cost more than a regular ticket or box seat ticket?
No, regular ticket.
Regular ticket.
Yeah, like that always was the case.
Oh, well, that's not really fun for me.
Because you don't buy food when you go there.
No, I buy food.
Where you buy?
Box.
Oh. Well, it might still cost more.
How much is a box?
You always go box seat?
I
mean,
for at least the last...
Say it with your chest.
How much is
6
a
to
box?
10 times, yeah.
How much is a box?
I don't remember.
Like $400 more.
It's $400 more?
I'm not sure.
It's still more.
But whatever it is, it was
probably
worth
just
it.
about the same.
It's worth it because it's way more comfortable.
It is?
Yes.
Yo, you know that governor song where him walking and say, shut your mouth with a little bit of money. That Jamar the governor for Canada.
No, man. No,
Yo,
bro.
Shut up.
Bro.
Man say, yo,
At least some Skittles with it.
yo, the man said
Yo.
when him go is only
Regular
box
seat,
seat.
regular seat.
And
We
that's
sit down
fine.
through a full movie from start to finish hurt my back.
But
And me I go shut my mouth with my little bit of money. Like,
Yo,
yeah.
bruh.
when you go up a box seat, it's not way bigger. It's bigger. But
That's what she
just,
said.
just enough. Just not go well at all.
All right, but let me continue to tell you what they go on. So I go there and I walk up, no line, nobody's there yet. Bought the ticket. Right by the door, they have a foot press sanitation station. So you don't touch anything with your hand. You press it with your foot and it squeezes out the anti-COVID liquid.
It's gel or liquid?
Gel.
Gel.
It's like it's sanitizer. It's sanitizer. It's
You prefer
sanitizer.
the gel? I don't like gel. Make your hand clammy.
feel cleaner, but that's just
Clammy
great.
feel cleaner? Alright.
So after that, now we went in. There was an issue with the ticket. I think it never printed properly. I had to wait and the manager sort it out. But I was like, yo, it's me alone. it's me. It's me. Just say yo.
Him.
That guy.
Is it me? Everybody had masks. Some people had face shield and mask.
Okay.
The people with the mask need to know we cannot hear them. So the people selling the food need to just they need to have some like a screen so I can see what them punching in and just be like, that's what I ordered.
Yeah.
And them just never did seem ready right away. I guess they were kind of like getting back their bearings.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the sodas were there.
Are you too frightened?
I'm frightened, though.
That's too early.
Anyways, there was another sanitation station right before the steps. In case you want to sanitize again, because people will kill you with them breath.
That was pre-COVID though.
No.
Also.
There was no
Maybe
sanitation.
he
Oh,
got
the
to
breath.
do this
The
box.
breath.
Oh.
Listen, then he got extra sanitation with his box seat.
Yeah.
Shut my mouth with my little bit of money. Me I shut my mouth with my little bit of money. I never know how to braff as I guess.
Yo. Yo.
Braff.
Stop it.
That's why I like the 13 hours movie.
Stop it.
What did you listen to it on? With your little bit of money? Your little laptop? Sorry, sir. Sorry, monsieur.
Jaja. See, I live something there. Anyways.
So, going to the movie now, I'm going to say, see some little picnic run up and down. I went to watch Onward, which was a kid's film. So, you know, whatever. Notice that they have extra workers, I guess, to kind of monitor the social distancing. But, you know, the whole theater was distanced with nobody. It was me, friend, another group, and 4 picnic going crazy.
Another group of how much? Like 2 or 3?
Like there were probably 12 of us in total.
Okay.
You know,
In which theater?
in the smallest theater. You know.
That's.
Oh, I know you would
That's
never.
well
You would
done.
never be in that theater. You'd be like, is this in Cinema 5 or 4? Oh no. No. My British pounds.
For the
cannot
record, I've been in every cinema and I don't hate none of them.
Yo,
I've
you
been
not just
in
buy
all
you not
the-
just buy the whole box section for the liquor
Oh,
theater then.
fuck.
Yo, what you say?
Actually would do.
Cinema 5?
Oh,
Splash.
jeez.
With your liquor bit of money. No, what I did realize is that the kids didn't have any parents.
They were loners?
So the kids were just there. Like the parents were just like, oh, something for do. Take them. You see me?
What do you mean the kids never have no parents?
There were 4 children there.
How
With
old were
old
these children?
parents?
Maximum maybe 12. Maximum
With all
12.
parents?
Should I say it one more time? It's not my youth, then. I don't
So
have
hold
none.
on it. So is it that Carib offers like a daycare thing?
No, but I guess they showed that the parents probably came, bought the tickets and sent them through, and then the people who probably collected the tickets probably didn't realize the parents were not coming back. And they didn't.
Oh.
So these kids were running up and down, making noise. But then the bigger problem,
Oh, no, I get down the youth. Hint, hint.
the bigger problem had to be that the movie wasn't starting. 4:45 movie, nothing at 5:30.
What time did the movie start?
The movie eventually started at
Exactly.
6:15.
6:50.
Yeah,
You can't make curfew.
there was. I mean, they
You
can't.
make curfew.
They can't make the next movie.
So
Don't have to.
So
the movie wouldn't start.
the movie wouldn't start. There was a projection. There was a projector issue. They brought in their top projectionist. They had a whole heap of problems, and eventually I had to leave. But what I really liked though was that the manager really was like, "Yo, what you want to do? You know, like tell us what you want, and we work around that." And I actually like the fact that their customer service asked me what I wanted first. You know, and then we worked out a deal after. You know what I mean? Because they could easily say, "Well, we can't do that." You know what I mean? But they weren't making any demands. They were apologizing profusely, and it was only our theater. It was only our movie. So I figured it didn't happen with the other movies or at other times. You know, but being out for 3 months, if it was that simple, though. But eventually we worked it out. And what I will say is, I do like the fact that they had a whole heap of different processes to deal with the health issue.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we asked Shane, and Shane definitely said he's not going. How you feel about that? Would you go to a movie theater now during this COVID times?
Yeah, but he'd buy all the seats. So
You would just buy the theater.
So
You would just buy the theater. Shut my mouth with a little bit of money.
So maybe we'll go with them.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Shane can roll.
You can watch it in a one theater.
Yeah,
You can go into the next theater. That's it.
Right. Would I roll, man? I'd definitely go.
Mask up, have your hand sanitizer.
Yeah, walk with my bag and my spray too. If me feel like for them one not strong enough, me use mine.
Simple as that.
Anybody come too close and get sprayed. 6
Yeah, and I think it's one of the easier forms of entertainment that can restart.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if we can really have concerts or session yet. Because session involves in whole heap of touching.
My question is
Wine
this.
from afar.
Did you have
Bluetooth
to...
wine. Did I have to?
I'll come back to that. Did you have to keep on your mask the entire time you're watching?
If you're not eating, you're required to put on a mask. And then the extra people that they had in the actual
that's that
theater,
issue.
the extra people that they had in the theater were there to monitor that. I don't know how
That's an issue.
I don't know how they dealt with that with a packed theater. So I will eventually go to another movie that had more people rather than Onward that had 12.
What else
And-
was showing?
Bloodshot by Vin Diesel, Bad Boys 3. This spy movie with the guy who plays the guy in Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Drax.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a movie out to the little girl.
Uh,
A spy movie, a fake, Leon the Professional.
So not
Yeah.
really kind of.
Nothing really to draw.
Yeah.
They don't have nothing, and the thing with Bad Boys 3 is that everybody done stream it legally already.
I haven't.
Or watch it because it was showing pre-COVID.
Right,
I
right.
haven't yet to see Bad Boys 3.
You're fine. It's nothing big. It's nothing.
I think you would like
I
it.
realize.
You might actually.
No, based on what you said you
The
liked before, I
sound
think
and
you
things
might
like
like this one.
But it's actually really cool. Let's not waste more time on Bad Boys 3. So you would go.
Let's not get in that entanglement.
Yeah, it's called My Spy.
Oh my god! Man said, let's not get in them entanglement! And Will Smith is in the movie! We know where they're going when they was recording this movie.
Yikes.
Oh yes.
You just mix up everything.
Yikes.
Anyway.
Oh, God. When it the record? When them the record? When we record in August?
Something was recorded in August.
Clearly.
Or on August.
With August.
When last has she been in a movie?
The girls trip.
Girls Trip? Jada was in Girls Trip?
Yeah, she was the prudish one.
She was a prudish one, she was a nice one.
Yeah.
While August waiting in the hotel.
Mm.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Anyways,
Hey,
what's next? What's next?
next?
What's next?
Episode topic, like what we're here for.
Yes.
Finally.
All right, so before we go into the topic, which is Summer Blockbusters, we would like it if you could just go over, what you really like about movies, what you look for in a movie, especially your favorite movie.
All right. So being a Jamaican, it kind of inevitable for like films, because from Sunday matinee to the corny soap operas that your grandmother always a watch or your auntie or something. Film is a part of you, because we always a watch TV. Even from back in the days when you're watching like things like Terminator and my favorite dinosaur movie,
Jurassic Park.
on VHS. From VHS.
Yo, when we used to go to the
have
cassette, man.
Yeah, man. Even from back in them days, say, yo, yes, I will get a bad movie, but how the film industry has evolved in terms of visual and audio quality, it makes it even more interesting now, because a show can be so crap visually, and the audio is so pristine, and you sit down and you watch it because that's a big thing why I go to the theater sometimes, the audio, because I mean, I'm not talking about certainly for here in Jamaica, we don't have IMAX screens, so if you have a big 4K TV at your yard, just as good as Carib. But the sound is what a lot of people don't replicate.
I don't know about just as good as Carrie, but
I mean, you're not missing.
Well, like a 4K TV is just it's like $50. You can't just pick up about on the road.
Exactly.
When you have Jamar money, what we need for those? What we need for those?
Stop it.
What we need for those? Shut our mouth with little bit of money, bro.
That should be the name of this podcast.
Oh, that's definitely going to be caption.
This episode.
So that's one of the allures for going to the actual theater. Theater vibrating and everybody reacting like, so
and everybody reacting in a Jamaican theater is way more hilarious.
Jamaican. First of all,
I mean, I hate it, but
first of all, if you don't live in Jamaica, you need to come to Jamaica and just be a part of the crowd when a bad movie is show. Because Jamaicans say the darnest things in the movies. Yo,
All right. With that said, let's segue straight into the topic. So we're talking about summer blockbusters. We're talking about movies that come out in the summer. And we'll talk about mine. Gigi, beg you just look up the date Dark Knight was released. And then you can, yeah, Billy can just look up those things. So we'll start off with my first favorite summer blockbuster, and that is the baddest Batman movie ever made. Christopher Nolan's, Christian Bale's 2008, The Dark Knight.
Bop, bop,
Now,
bop, bop.
going into The Dark Knight, why The Dark Knight was really good for me. Now, being a long-time fan of Bruce Wayne, Batman the animated series, and this and that, growing up thinking that Batman Forever was a good movie, realizing when I grew up that it's trash.
Hold on, the Batman Forever was the one with Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right? Growing up thinking that was a good movie, rewatching it and rewatching Batman and Robin, and realizing that they ruined my favorite franchise. And then seeing Batman Begins, seeing the depth of Batman Begins, made me go, huh. Because what we find is Batman gets a lot of credit for, which was putting intelligence into the superhero film. An intelligence that I think was there from the first Batman. With Michael Keaton. By, what's his name? Tim Burton. Right? Tim Burton's Batman was filled with that sort of intelligence. And there's a whole lot of comic book movies, but that's not today's topic, but there's a lot of comic book movies that have that. But the movies that really touch that are the movies that find the perfect balance of realism and supernatural elements.
Yep.
And the thing about the Dark Knight trilogy is they thread right to the edge of the line that this can happen.
True.
You know? And
very real.
And it's very real, or as real as as I believe they can make it. It existed in what I considered a real world.
Yeah.
I think Iron Man did that very well with a touch of supernatural element. You know, so when we were watching Hulk movies and Spider-Man movies and things were all smoke and mirrors and it was cool and cartoony and fun.
What's Iron Man?
And cool and cartoony and fun, you find that with The Dark Knight, so Batman Begins started it, but Dark Knight, I was just fully wowed. I was there. I was in the moment. You know what I mean? It was layered. It was emotional. The performances were great. The story structure was great. The visuals was amazing. And the king of practical effects, Christopher Nolan. Like that truck flip. That friggin' truck flip. Brother. Scene after scene. And it's to me, and that's why it's one of my favorites and maybe my number one blockbuster. It gave it everything you wanted in a blockbuster with the spectacle. It gave me story. So anybody, and that's why I say there's a melting pot for blockbusters where anybody who likes any type of movie would usually like these type of movies. So you're not going to consider it dumb.
So you're saying this is Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, you know?
This is the one with Joker as well.
With Heath Ledger's Joker.
Because like for a Batman story,
yeah,
it's like all other villains are irrelevant unless it's the Joker.
That's true.
So that is true. That is true. Now, Jamie, Dark Knight, what do you think?
To this day, that's my favorite Batman movie release. I don't think any other come close. And I think Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker launched the Joker in a different realm of supervillain when he did that whole interpretation of the Joker. All of a sudden, it's like, to me, the Joker was the lead character in that. To me, personally. Well, I mean, it's a Batman show, but the Joker took that film. He really did.
Well, he's a prime antagonist. You know, I mean, Batman is still the lead, but he is the highlight.
We know that.
Yeah, he
but
is the highlight.
Just the performance
Yeah.
that Heath Ledger put
It
into
killed him.
this. Yeah.
Literally.
It literally killed him. And even Jack Nicholson was saying, because Jack Nicholson was upset that they didn't bring him in as a Joker, because he I think maybe some conversation was there about him bringing in an older iteration of the Joker, you know, but they wanted a fresh Joker,
which is fair.
and he warned Heath Ledger that this role might kill him.
He actually said that.
I read that somewhere. Gigi can look that up for me, but he said that he did somewhat reach out and want, because I think his comparison was Joker took him to the edge, but I think he was saying Shining
Is what.
almost wrecked him.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
he-
we can talk about Jack Nicholson and
Non-stop and method acting and them
but
thing. Yeah,
just in terms of those like 3 films that I figured is One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Nest, Shining,
Shining,
and Joker.
And those 3
Yeah.
roles I've seen him play, they look very.
Taxing.
Yeah.
They look very taxing.
And what Heath Ledger did did to himself in that Dark Knight movie.
Yeah.
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 The man, I think there's a hole that you go in that you can't come out. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Performances anybody has ever done in the history of on-screen performances.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Now, what I also wanted to look at while discussing these blockbusters are, what was your movie-going experience? Because that is a big part of the blockbuster itself. The movies that take you out of your house and carry you to the cinema. What was your movie-going experience with that?
I did not watch
In
this
theater? Okay. I went 3 times.
All right. So for me, the theater scene kind of tricky because of work schedule. A lot of times when, all the time when movies are going work. So like, we definitely have to make a long-term plan for go to the movies.
Get you.
I mean, life more flexible now, but you know, I forgot to take this day off to go to the movies because this one work schedule, I'll otherwise be at work. But I didn't see this in theaters. But the moment I got to see it in theater quality, like full resolution, uncompressed sound.
Yeah.
And I got a feel for what the movie really was.
Trust me.
It was something else.
And I think what I realized with that is it really ignited a certain level of fandom, you know, because remember Iron Man just coming out too, you know, like the whole DC versus Marvel wasn't really a thing yet. You see me? And so the shirts, the costumes, everything, like, you know, Heath Ledger was the Halloween costume for a while, and then his death right before the release, you know, it sent people to the theaters.
Yeah, man.
And I think that's what truly made this higher level of blockbuster that I really loved. It opened up the spectacle, you know. I remember, so I went 3 times because I went with 2 different sets of friends, and then I think I carried my mom or my father, somebody. I carried one of my parents here. And that 3rd time, I definitely watched the movie like this. Like, me just I watch you react to
the
this.
movie. Yeah.
So like when the pencil disappear, like what I'm saying, right when they put the pencil upon the thing, upon the table, I just go so. I went the whole crowd go, "Bum my God." You see me? Because I wanted to. I love seeing reactions like that. So I kind of really like seeing how people enjoy certain things. So that was how. Well, you know.
Suppose I don't have the same feeling you have, then it's like a disappointment for you, and I'm sorry.
Well, you are a disappointment.
Oh God.
Oh Lord.
Oh God.
Oh God. It's already too late.
That's all.
All right. With that said, let's move on to your first one. You know,
I can't read. It's like how you have it. Oh, this is my number 1.
Oh no.
Blockbuster.
Everything else is open after that. Dark Knight is just number 1. Everything else is second.
I don't necessarily have mine in any order, but
which is fine.
Back to the Future was Back to the Future was one of them movies there where just have you like, oh my God. Especially if you're
it's
like
so fun.
Yeah.
No, even apart from that, it's fun and it's fun for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you're a nerd like me, like we're always a
I mean, no,
shit.
hold on. as a nerd though, most of the nerds are running to nitpick the hell out of that movie.
Yeah.
All of the things that wrong that can't happen and I mean,
and how time works, like
I mean,
like you're a time lord.
but,
right.
if you dumb it down, you enjoy it.
To be honest, there are nerds and then there are nerds. If you're a nerd that don't understand what film is and what a story is and what a movie is supposed to be, you're going to nitpick the shit out of it and you're not going to enjoy it. But fuck you.
I get you.
If you're into films, you'd love this. You'd love this. Just letting your mind go and allowing the film to take you on the journey.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Trying to remember is what my son actually came to me the other day and asked me something about. Did he ask who was Marty McFly? I don't know if like in one of the games that he plays that they've introduced a Back to the Future element or what. So I actually was like, you want to know who?
Let's
show you.
Let's McFly the shit out of you, little boy.
Yeah, like, I'll show you. And I actually brought up like the hovering skateboard.
Yeah.
That was Back to the Future too, right?
Yeah.
That scene.
2020. I think, or 2018 or something. We're past it already.
That year, though. But what it was is amazing to me so that can still fascinate a 7-year-old up to date.
Let's look up what year was it in Back to the Future 2. Yeah, definitely. And then, but yeah, tell me more about what wowed you about Back to the Future.
All right.
2015.
The flying car.
Just everything that they said would have happened in 2015.
If there was nothing else, the flying car.
Bro, let me tell you something. The baddest thing for me with Back to the Future. Because, first of all, you didn't clarify. All Back to the Future you're talking about? You're putting all of them in one? Because the flying car is part 2.
Yeah, it is.
Well, he does fly into the past.
He does fly into the past.
Part 1.
At the
end of part 1, he flies and he says, we have somewhere to go, But part 2 is when they're really flying.
So, Back to the Future 1 and 2 for me.
Up there.
Them up there.
3 was like...
3 was a Western.
Yeah, I don't dig 3. Not at all.
That's when you're making money.
I don't even remember I said 3 they exist.
They got bills too. They don't have Jamar money.
I'm never going to live this down.
Shut my mouth.
With
a little bit of money. Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, at that age, when you just read about Thomas Edison and the kite and
you were what old? I just not read about Thomas Edison.
but he's into physics, so him say when him start getting to that and read about that, and then you watch this movie, you enjoy it even more.
Because I was a little weird kid. I did all the things that regular boys did, but then I always pull on my toys, I always pull on radio, and I used to read a lot of random science books.
Yeah.
Like I remember when my brother and them used to save their money and buy comic books. I was into Nat Geo magazines. That was my kind of shit. I was kind of a little weirdo. I mean, I didn't read comics too, but I like Nat Geo magazine. I like the science stuff. I used to read random science books that tell me random shit. It's like, this shit blows my mind. Like, this really happened? So, I was kind of a little weirdo like that. So, when movies like this came along and just took my brain on the journey, it was like, it was a whole different experience.
Nice. For part 1, all the creepiness are the things that I did. Like the mother looking Marty McFly.
No.
That was so funny to me.
No,
that was so funny to me. That was so funny to me. Like, it's so ridiculous. It was just like, why I found that to be the funniest part of the movie to me is it felt so ridiculous. It felt so ridiculous, and it's just like, like, bro, we don't care what them said the rules are. Just make this woman know you are picking it up.
Straight up.
Like, I just tell her you're gay or something, bro. Stop making mother look you.
That's just that's
I like the fact that
that's
his name is Calvin.
Yeah, and that him they just feel like his mother was a sketch. Like she did that. Yo, she did dip on him bed and just dip in the man's face, bro. She was just like, yo, are you?
And he's like, no.
No, you
He's like,
can't
no,
do that.
dog.
You cannot do that.
And Battle Future needs to apologize for trying to steal black people music.
Oh,
Yeah, when
Johnny B. Good.
Yeah, with the Johnny B. Good. Black Lives Matter right now. You need to watch that shit, bro.
I mean,
Yeah,
I got that.
Big up
It's
Pete
quite
Tosh.
because the band was black.
Yeah.
Johnny B. Good. Big up Peter Touch.
Problematic.
That was a big song.
All right. Very good inclusion in the Summer Blockbuster. What year did that come out, Gigi?
1989.
89. I was 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely VHS. Watch that.
So that was
I
the
think
year
I watched
after
it on,
Gilbert.
JBC when I was older.
Oh, VHS made you watch it fun.
I watched that
JBC played Back to the Future.
When I was older, I think so.
Big up yourself, Shane.
I watched that at driving.
I never
Man.
watched that at not driving. VHS.
Next movie, my second movie, a movie that like I spent a lot of time watching on DVD that I really liked. With our favorite actor, Will Smith.
Damn.
Entangled.
Entangled is not the name of the movie.
Independence Day.
I think that Will Smith want right now. Dog, dog.
Yeah.
But Independence Day. Let's stay focused.
Yes.
Independence Day. Back when it's funny because here's the funny thing about it. Will Smith might be a blockbuster king right now, but this is one of the few Will Smith movies I actually love. I don't really like Will Smith movies.
You didn't like
Bad Boys 1, Independence Day. Don't say 7 pounds. If you say 7 pounds,
No.
I will explode.
What's
No, I was
7
just
pounds
being
again?
fuckery. The one where he- Wild Wild West.
give him organs?
Yes.
Yeah.
The dumbest movie ever made. It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
But it was so touching.
No, it was not.
It never touched you?
No. You're going to just kill yourself with some octopus or something. What did he kill himself with? Jellyfish? It's so dumb. 7 pounds is so dumb. We're not talking about 7 pounds. We're talking about Independence Day.
I
What
like
was the movie you
Hitchcock.
were talking about?
Wild Wild West.
Handcocking me for saying,
Hancock,
why,
yeah.
what?
Why, what?
Nobody enjoyed
The
that?
movie he turned down Matrix for?
Yes.
Yo,
No,
first of
Yeah.
I want that. I will add
Mistake.
I will add Enemy of the State.
Enemy of
Yeah.
the State. was-
I will add Enemy of the State.
Enemy of the State.
Even though he doesn't steal the movie. Gene Hackman steals the movie. It's all Gene Hackman. But he was a good secondary character. Cool.
There was nobody like
I feel like no
You
already.
guys said iRobot. No. Is iRobot?
no, iRobot, that was the one.
Which one?
New York, him and him dog.
I'm Legend.
I Am
I Am
Legend.
Legend.
With
What
the
like-
with the dumbest ending ever. I don't know.
I hate the ending.
They tried to make.
FYI.
Let me tell you.
I love everything else
they-
about I Am Legend except the ending.
They tried to make I Am Legend. They tried to make it a modern version of like 28 Days Later, a post-apocalyptic kind of vibe, and I think they failed on many fronts. And I think mostly because I think they didn't know how to close that movie, and they didn't know how to finish it.
The closing killed that movie.
But Independence Day, great blockbuster, great acting, great comedy. That's another factor that blockbusters have a lot to.
Good
Is
comedy.
knowing how to really make the audience laugh without being over the top. It's one of the reasons why I'll never put a Fast and Furious movie on my list, because I think nowadays they try to do too much comedy. It's a problem I have with some Marvel movies, where they try to overdo the comedy and kill story.
I find that so accurate.
Yeah. And
Like most recent Marvel movies,
Mhm.
like
they tend to do that. Yeah, they tend to do that. But
They're
in
just
Independence
over the
Day,
They
top.
have
the
that
comedy.
critique of oh my god, the guy from The Office, his superhero movies or something.
Super.
No.
Not Jim, the guy with the glasses,
You know,
Dwight.
Nope. I'll do this and
Yeah.
then get back
yeah,
to
do
it.
that.
So, but Independence Day.
Yeah.
Now, what I love about Independence Day too
Star Wars.
is how they move the story. They kept it fast paced. They kept it funny. When they were trying to hold up signs to the alien ship, and they thought Elvis was coming back, and the alien just dropped the beam down and mashed up that, and the whole and I think that scene where they blow up the White House, like all of that, I just remember being just epic moments. Flying the Likkle small plane into the alien ship, just epic moments of theater. And I have to give Independence Day, because I think in '96 is when Independence Day came out. When Independence came out in '96, I just remember not being. I couldn't remember at that time. I didn't know which movies had those type of graphics. That made me like look outside and like, yo, I don't know what my brain would do if I look across the sky and saw that shit.
Probably shit yourself.
Yeah, and that is what Independence Day really did. You see me? So,
and Independence Day came out like in them time they used to hear a whole heap of like alien sightings kind of shit being circulated and crop circles. Them time them just learn what crop circles.
Yeah.
Still not.
Yeah.
Say what? I need to read
it. Sorry, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What Shane said, which people probably couldn't hear because he's whispering over in the other chair.
Oh, sorry.
What Shane said was that NASA even recently released facts.
No,
or whatever. But the fact is that Jamar is saying that you're saying basically at that time you were being fed with a lot of those rumors. So it boosted the fear factor that the movie brought up,
bro. Yeah. And being a long time fan of the X-Files, it kind of propel your mind into a space of like, but suppose it's real. Suppose aliens really are come for it.
And I think that
like, what would I do?
I think that was a drive.
But then realize say, after watching Paul, they'll just burn some weed in Jamaica. But anyway,
yeah. I think that is a factor that I think that's something they factored in when they made this film. You know, like to help build the fear. You know what I mean? Like the Area 51 and things like that.
Very much so.
Whatever happened to that rumor? Wasn't there something this year where people said they're going to storm Area 51?
Yeah. And
a bunch of memes came out with like aliens zapping them away.
Just one of the
Did those people disappear?
No one knows. No. And they're supposed to run in like anime style?
Yeah, they were ready to like run in.
First of all, that's dumb as fuck. Because them have soldier with big old 50 caliber rifle, I got shot there.
I think like how Area 51 probably set up. I think they think it's like it's a fence and that's Area 51.
No.
I think there's so many levels just to get there that they probably just reach as like, oh, it locked from here, so.
Yeah, but we know from Independence Day what Area 51 looks like. Where they went.
Exactly, right?
We know everything already.
You see how I bring it back? You see how I bring that shit back?
Get them the meme.
Yeah, you see me? The meme where you touch it. Anyway, so Independence Day definitely one of my favorite blockbusters. It was definitely a fun watch. It was one of those rewatchable movies when you have your like movie nights with friends as well. It's one of those type of movies, and I think it's one of those epic blockbusters that have those scenes that are unforgettable, and it aged well. I watched pieces of it again recently. It aged well. The sequel is god awful dross. Don't ever watch piece of it. Do not watch the trailer for the sequel. They from them couldn't get Will Smith back in it. They should have just been like, well, we'll try it and just end it there. Both. You know, they tried to do the whole, this is a son of the captain. No.
So
rubbish.
They killed him.
Absolutely.
They killed off Will Smith before the movie, basically. Saying that he died in action. Rubbish. Don't watch it. With that, let's move on to your next film.
So, I'm going to get a lot of... I don't care.
Bro, just say it.
Frig off to everybody who don't like this movie. This movie was so awesome. Grease.
Grease is a very loved movie. So you're not going to get a lot of people hating it.
I love Grease to death.
And it's funny, I just didn't like Grease.
I love Grease.
I know a lot of people love Grease. You love Grease?
I watched Grease and I rewatched Grease and it doesn't get old for me.
I mean, it doesn't get new. It doesn't. It is what it is.
Like 60s?
What year was Grease?
Grease was 70s.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's
portrayed in the 50s.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Hear what? Grease is one of those it is what it is type of movies.
But I like
it never it never hit me in any way.
1978.
1978. What one? What one?
I don't know.
Oh, 1978. We're just gonna hold on to it. I hope that Jamar is right. It came out in the song.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah.
oldest one.
But 1978, it's one of those classic movies. It has those songs. My thing is, it's so white, and I'm a fan of La La Land. So
I mean, know how I feel.
so if I say it's so white, but you know what?
it is.
Tell me what you like about Grease.
I like the musical aspect
You know
of it.
what? I'm not gonna lie.
Fun-
That's
funny-
pretty surprising.
What?
That you're into musicals. That's pretty surprising.
Sarcasm ton up.
Why is it surprising though?
He's a music person.
I'm a music person.
Yeah, but
I-
continue.
That's why I produce music.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
yeah, but this is like a. Okay, cool. Fine. Fine.
I
Yeah.
kid you not, almost every song in Greece could be
Is
a
a bop?
legit studio release, like just on an
They
album.
were.
Yeah,
They were,
right?
they were, but let's take Greece out of the equation.
No, but you have to bear in mind is John Travolta, who was a recording star artist before him, was a
Right.
Yes, Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah,
Was
so it was
also-
like
So,
Yeah.
so I mean, the quality of the music was good. They wrote good hits. I mean, it was just fun to watch for me.
but nobody died, Jamar. Where did
Actually, there is a theory that the girl
going
is
to-
actually dead, and this is her dream in her
I've
last
heard
day,
that.
her last day in high school. Turn up the story for you know.
Oh, my. You just give me Grease a whole different.
Yeah, so watch it.
Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna watch it right now.
because basically, and that's why I like the car fly
Into
and
the
everything is
sunset,
ridiculous.
all that. Yeah,
That this is her.
Grease 2.
God damn it!
That was Grease 2.
No, that's Grease one.
Grease 2 was all biker shit, with bikes, and it was Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, no,
was
the
in
car
that.
flying off in the end is Grease one.
It's Grease 1.
Oh yeah.
Remember we had this debate that
Yes.
I haven't seen Grease 2, so I
Yes,
wouldn't have
yes,
known
yes,
that
yes,
scene.
yes.
And I actually watched Grease 2 before.
Oh my god.
Sure.
But
Really?
what I will say in response to the musical aspect that makes this a blockbuster is the fact that the approach that it had to music was amazing. Just like West Side Story, just
It
like
was.
Sound of Music, how
It was.
they put the music into it makes it a landmark film. It makes it a classical film,
And that's exactly why I love it.
which I totally understand.
Take out the music, I don't like it as much.
Well, I mean, it don't exist if you take out the music. It's a musical, but I get
Exactly.
it. Yeah. But with that said, hey, it is what it is. You like that movie? For those of you out there who like Grease, what other musicals do you like? Let us know in the comments
La La Land.
or in whatever comments wherever you're listening to this.
Yeah.
No,
Year number 3.
my third movie, which is the most recent of the movies, which has gotten a lot of flack for lack of story, but I think it makes up in blockbuster spectacle.
Yo.
Mad Max Fury Road.
If you don't watch it yet, go watch it now.
And there's no spoiler alert. They drive one way and they drive
Yeah.
back.
Exactly. Yo, it's
Pretty
the
much.
baddest road trip you'll ever watch.
Pretty much.
Ooh, flaming guitars.
Yo, trust me.
Here's
Mad Max
my
oh,
feeling on Mad Max Fury Road. Why I think it's one of the greatest blockbusters of all time. I think it's one of the greatest
I agree.
action
That's
movies of all time.
sustained.
Yeah, of all
I
time.
agree.
Like if I was to give,
I agree.
if you're to have a
Yeah.
top 20, it has to be in at least well, you don't have to, you know. I think
We're
it's
free
a
people, you
it's
know.
It's definitely in my
I
top
think
10.
it's a viable inclusion into a top 20 action film, blockbusters of all time, just based on the fact that it was bold enough to do something that people weren't doing. It didn't care about story. It cared all about being different. And it cared all about the impact of every single detail on your watching experience. You understand? The costuming, the scenery, the lighting, the coloring,
the
the
car,
graphics.
the vehicles.
Yeah, well, that comes down to the practical effects. You know what I mean? Like how they build stuff, and then the acting. What these actors did with their faces, without actual lines and things like that, with
Yeah.
just reactions. You understand? Was amazing. Charlize Theron killed it. Killed it.
Definitely.
Killed it. I'm putting Charlize Theron out there as like I can't wait to see her like at 70 and like the role she gets as an older actress. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like how she's going, you know, like how Meryl Streep is like beloved. I think Charlize Theron is going to kill stuff like that. You know, yeah, like, you know, Kate Blanchett, those type of actresses. So,
Mad Max, me and you go watch it, don't it?
no,
In theater.
but we were both. I think we saw it separately.
We saw it separately.
Yeah, but definitely the theater experience was good. The Blu-ray experience was just as good. And I've watched clips on my laptop because how their attention to detail. It doesn't matter if the screen is that big or this small.
It doesn't.
You understand? Yeah. But how did you? What was your experience like?
So when I went to watch Mad Max in theaters, it was a 3D experience. I'm not a huge fan of 3D because, of course, it gives a headache. But
COVID.
Mad Max is legit the only 3D movie I've ever watched in theaters and not get a headache.
Zine.
It is the only 3D action movie that I watch from start to finish and my adrenaline up from start to finish. It was a trip. It was a trip, literally. It's like them pretty much take you on the journey with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It felt like that. It felt like you run across the desert one way with them and then you turn around and you run back across the desert with them the opposite way.
Yeah,
you felt like
it's a definition of edge of your seat.
Yeah, it was. And then
there's just something about desolation and like, you know, that spread of just dirt, the sand and
Post-apocalyptic like
there's something
dread.
about that you just can't take your eyes off of, mixed with flames and
oil and blood.
It is just bizarre.
No man, it was awesome. And then
all while the sound is jarring you in the good way.
Bro, on Blu-ray. And so I bought the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And it was equally as tantalizing. No 3D, but it shot.
Nice.
It shot. And I'd sit and I'd watch it again and again and again.
Nice.
Which I can.
All right. Now, with that said, we move on to the final. I need to stop saying with that said.
You
Do you? No,
Okay,
you don't.
cool.
With that said,
Anything
stop
you
saying
want.
with that.
Your final
All right,
summer blockbuster that you love. We're not using fave anymore.
Yeah, so number 3 for me is definitely Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park was out of this world.
Out of this world.
Out of this
Jurassic World.
Jurassic.
Bro, yo.
Dog.
Yo. This is the second time you're injured that. Dog. They're coming like the T-Rex. They're coming like the T-Rex.
Yo.
Bro, if I have a little clip and be like, yo, can we get a guest that doesn't hurt the host?
So, like I said before, I'm a bit of a nerd, and I've always been a fan of like dinosaurs growing up. I've had quite a few books that my parents bought for me, or that I got from the library that just told me a lot about dinosaurs.
Right.
So when I saw Jurassic Park bring dinosaurs to life in front of me, I was just like, yo, this is the coolest shit ever.
Nice.
Wow. What year was that?
1993.
1993. So that was like 9-year-old me going, oh my god, sparkly eyes, electronics. You could, like, for me, every dinosaur was real. Every dinosaur was real. They really brought it to life.
So my memory, the furthest that I can go back in my brain, is being ghastly terrified of the little velociraptors.
Yo!
Yeah.
So like that scene where the fat man
Yeah.
gets killed with them in the end, it was
Yes.
just me. I'll ask my parents, but I may have cried in that film.
Oh, geez.
It may have brought out the inner bitch.
Yeah.
I mean,
No
if
bother,
you're
no
9
bother.
years old, you're always a
Well,
like,
8, I guess, you know, like
still a bitch.
yeah.
Always a bitch.
Always. Them age there is
Yeah.
bitch to the bitch.
Yeah.
Talk
But-
for yourself.
But
I never done about it.
not
All right.
not in that movie, so not never scare you when you were 7.
When I was 9.
Bro.
Will that make it worse because you're older?
But I'm not saying Jurassic Park scary. I'm saying 7-year-old me
Mm-hmm.
found that scary because of how real it was.
Oh, all right, fine.
You see me? And you have to give props to to Jurassic Park because a lot of it was practical effects from what I gather.
Yeah.
A lot of practical effects were used, which brought off that realistic sheen. And I think that may have been what killed a lot of their sequels when they tried to go with special effects. You know, they tried to use digital imagery, and it didn't have the same effect as that animatronic T-Rex pushing down. There's one of the scenes where it pushes down on a car, and the glass from the car drops on top of the kids.
Yeah.
That wasn't even planned. That wasn't even in the script. The animatronic thing just went too hard, and the kids, when it dropped on the kids, they were actually scared.
Real fear.
So it was a real
Yeah.
terror because they were just like, "Oh shit, this is not supposed to drop." So
Yeah.
you know, and it mirrored how.
And the director was like perfect.
Yeah. and it's just, let me tell you,
Gonna keep
Jurassic Park just comes out as one of those. You'll never be able to top it because it's the first.
True.
You know, you'll never be able to say you did it like that first. And because Jurassic did it like that first so well, it's the same reason why movies like Godzilla never land how it wanted to.
True.
You know, that time making P Diddy do the soundtrack. By the way, a song that I used to love when I did younger and I had the cassette. Come with me.
I don't know.
It's totally trash. We'll watch it later.
Okay.
I remember the music video too.
Yeah. With him walking and stepping in white suit and Godzilla stepping around him.
What?
Who directed?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Jurassic Park? Oh, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. Spielberg and George Lucas, I think, produced it. Just hit it.
I don't say George Lucas. It's a Universal Amblin Entertainment legendary.
All right, but what else about the experience of it as a blockbuster that made you love Jurassic Park?
You know, I think there's nothing quite like Jurassic Park when it came out. There's no other material to say there's another movie like this, how you like it stacked up against Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was what it was, and it stood on its own. And it kind of forged a path for itself. So, I mean, even just the excitement of being scared. All right, there's this part where the fat guy was in the rain. He was driving the Jeep and he got stuck in the mud. There's this little
that is right before the Velociraptors came out, right after that. Yes.
But it wasn't the Velociraptors
the one with the
got
thing,
me
the one.
scared. Yeah, the little lizard that went.
I saw him go.
Yeah.
I saw him go.
And the funny part about that,
it wasn't
there's
Velociraptor.
actually a lizard on Earth like that. No.
Yeah. There was always a lizard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fucking terrifying.
So exactly. So if you're like me and you like the Nat Geo stuff and you read them, so you know that there's actually a lizard like that
The Jesus Christ is
existing on the face of this earth, and you're like, so that means if that exists, could them they exist too?
Yeah.
That's the point.
So
And that's why I drive home that fear. And,
yeah.
and I think also like
I'm done for that lizard.
So it's like a big rat moving, some big rat.
Yo.
so
All of a sudden the jungle was a no-no.
and what we can also look onto that is important as a blockbuster is that it catered to everybody, catered to the nerds,
Everybody.
the action catered to those who weren't nerds.
Everybody.
You know, it made all of that cool. You know, and I think that's a word we haven't been using for, which I think is good to even look on Greece, is that some of it wants to be trendy, it wants to sell. So you find that Jurassic became iconic. Dressing up in the leather from Greece became iconic. You know, the spaceships from Independence Day became iconic. You know,
cosplay.
Mad Max Fury Road cosplay did turn up after that.
Yo.
You know, like people started dressing up like that. We mentioned Dark Knight and the merch from Dark Knight. Back to the Future, those shoes right now, the Marty McFly shoes are big sellers. You know what I mean? Self-lacing Nikes are big sellers. Kanye had a version when he just did go with Nike of Kanye. And you know, so this is part of the blockbuster experience where it becomes cool. It becomes trendy.
It becomes a lifestyle.
It becomes a lifestyle. That's a very good
When
word.
the fat continues throughout that's why you know it's a strong
Brand.
blockbuster.
Yeah.
You know, the trend now
When it becomes a brand.
Yeah, I mean, like, they don't have to make another Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
You know?
But they did.
They made so many.
They didn't have I remember even Weird Al made a song about Jurassic Park. You know what I mean?
Yo, you're a big Weird Al fan.
Weird Al, but
Yeah.
what's wrong?
Okay, so I want to ask you guys a question. With the shows that you've mentioned that were your favorites, what do you think the elements of a summer blockbuster are? Success to make a successful summer blockbuster.
I'll give the first element, and it has to be a visual spectacle.
Has to cater to a wide range of people.
Mm-hmm.
Has to.
I also think it has to be easily merchandised. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be able to become a trend. It has to be trendy. It has to be trendy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like the way them dress in Greece is trendy. The crazy cosplay of Mad Max is trendy. You know what I mean? So Halloween tunnel. And I think those are the factors. And it has to come out in summer.
That's cool.
And the idea for it to come out in summer is that people are coming out, you know.
Right.
People are breaks.
The children are home from school and
Yeah.
Okay.
The audience is accessible.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Very much so.
So let's be interesting. What it has been the biggest blockbuster of all time thus far?
I guess we can look on.
Wow. I think in terms of what though?
Yeah, that's what we need.
Because
in terms of sales,
if you talk about sales, that's one thing. If you talk about impact on the film industry, that's another thing. So I think you have to contextualize that, like
the top selling blockbuster.
Biggest blockbuster in what regard?
Google biggest blockbuster of all time.
Okay, I googled that.
And what came?
Gone with the Wind.
Damn, and I think that's actually on a whole lot of scrutiny now.
Yeah, because of the black lady that got the nomination for the award, and she wasn't allowed to come to the Oscars.
All of them.
And then Avatar.
I was going to say Avatar.
Titanic.
Avatar, Blue People Avatar.
Blue People Avatar.
Yo, Avatar was such a visual spectacle.
Yes, it was. Yes,
and
it was.
you know what's only a visual spectacle?
The first time
audio matched the visuals.
Sure.
Like I remember watching Avatar for the first time in full surround sound, and here like that scene in the night in the jungle when he was in the jungle for the first time, and the rhino thing they run him down, and what's your name there? They come save him. Like all of that scene, when you hear how much work them put into the sound effects and all of the different channels, I'm just like, you feel so immersed.
And I guess I have to appreciate that, but still, it's just an overhyped Ferngully the last word. That's it.
Well, here was funny. The biggest issue that
mixed with
okay, sir, compassion over there. But to be honest with you, the worst thing that I did was watch that movie again.
Really?
Why?
Because I just realized how bad it is.
It's a crap ass.
Oh my god.
But here's the thing: it's not a crap ass movie. The story is a lot more cliche than I thought it was at the time.
Okay.
The visual spectacle really distracted me from how stupid the decisions all of them were. And the actual, so because it was 3D, how they did the 3D was great.
Yeah.
But I don't think the actual graphics aged well.
Oh, I don't know.
You look at it now, and
I look at it now, and it don't. It's not as clean as we think it is. Like,
but at the time, it was super clean because it was the best at the time.
It was the best at the time, and it's just, for example, it's just very blue. It's very. I watch it in theaters.
No. Rewatch. Recently.
Laptop, but that don't matter. That don't matter because at the end of the day, if it ages well, it look good anywhere.
I don't know.
If it age well,
I want to watch it on whatever media you watch it on to see if I'll have the same opinion. But I watched it last year. Or was it year before last? One of them. Yeah, last year or year before last.
But even so, it's very
it's very, and it was a spectacle for me same way.
No, but the style of it is very plastic. It's very plastic. It's very cartoonish. And I said that to say that, like, for example, Toy Story ages well.
Yeah, I can watch an Incredible story.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, not just the story and just how the animation is done. Has it
seems more timeless.
It seems more timeless and it seems stylistic. This just feels like, let's try to make this plastic world feel as real as we can while what they did, what I think they did very well, I'll never take back from them, is great 3D choreography. What went across your face and when,
I will
and the
say
timing
it's
of that was great.
It's the first
You know,
movie
it's-
where the
yeah.
where the wearing the 3D glasses made sense to me.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
so
think
agree
Fury
with you.
Road worked for me with that.
No, Fury definitely work.
But
Fern got in the last
so
race
Avatar
was-
is the highest selling blockbuster so far.
No, it's
No,
Gone
no,
with
God
followed
is
by.
yeah.
Jesus, I want to ignore that.
Okay.
But okay,
And
no,
it's
but
adjusted for inflation.
yeah, that's why it's up there. So yeah, I think
Highest
that
grossing films.
was a great
Star Wars is on it.
So I was just
Star
going to
Wars,
run
yeah.
through. I was just going to run through a few close mentions. Some of the Mission Impossibles, I think for me, I really enjoyed what Mission Impossible did with them with their franchise. Where it said, okay, the first movie they tried to go super story, twist. Oh my God, it's really him. And they tried to keep that with the second movie. And so with the second movie, they did a lot of that. And I loved Mission Impossible 2. I rewatched it, laughed the whole way through. I was like, oh God, this is what I did love, but I still found it cool.
I need to watch them over.
But 3, 4, and 5 has this, like, listen, we're not trying to overcomplicate the thing. We're just going to make it be as risky as we can when it comes to these stunts. And you're just going to enjoy kicking and action. Star Wars is our next honorable mention for my summer blockbusters as well. I think the reason why it missed out in comparison to Mad Max, Independence Day, and Dark Knight is that, and by the way, it lands everything when it comes to merchandising. But I think it misses out on those because it didn't impact me as heavily during the time, like as a blockbuster spectacle and going to the theaters. And then by the time I was going to the theaters, it was a crappy Star Wars.
Honorable mention for me, Jaws, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jaws was way before my time, but when I finally watched Jaws as a youth, I was definitely scared of the sea. Definitely. Terminator 2 Judgment Day is definitely another honorable mention.
Yep. I think I left it off because we spoke about it last week, but definitely.
We never talked about it, so me I say it's an honorable mention for me.
All right, I think that's a good point. Iron Man.
Yeah.
Very good honorable mention. Kickstart the whole Marvel thing.
Yeah.
Shane, any honorable mention?
Summer Blockbusters?
Yeah, Mr. Sneak myself onto the show.
No, not right now, actually.
Cool. All right, if you guys have any summer blockbusters that we did not mention, please comment where you're able to comment. Comment.
Oh, yeah,
Robocop.
Man.
Robocop.
Yeah, Robocop.
All right, and with that said, we're ending the discussion topic there. And with that, if you have any questions that you want us to answer on the next episode, please, if you're watching on YouTube, type it in the YouTube comments. If you have us on Instagram, please follow at Chat Bout Flim on Instagram and add the questions there. Let us know. We're going to be putting snippets from this. Comment under that, message us. Follow us on Anchor. My Anchor channel is Simon the Writer, but if you look up the show, Chat Bout Flim, it's there. It's on Pocket Cast. It's on Broken Cast. It's on Spotify.
Yeah.
So please look up all of these platforms and listen to Chat Bout Flim.
And Google Podcasts.
And Google Podcasts. Still working on the Apple Podcasts. All right. And the last thing we're doing for the show, we're going to ask all our guests a question. And the question is, you could choose one superpower. What would it be?
Dum, 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 dum.
You want to hear mine first, or you want to tell me yours?
No, tell me yours.
Healing. It might change each week, but right now, healing. Myself and people. Wolverine style.
Mine would be controlling people's minds.
Mind control.
Yes,
Not surprised.
definitely.
Not creepy at all. You didn't tell me to say that. Anyways, it's been a great episode. Jamar, I want to thank you for being on the show. Big up yourself.
Time, man.
I want to big up my co-host that I keep forgetting about, Jheanelle Levy.
It's cool. Hey guys, miss you, love you.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. And I want to big up the sneak guest who felt left out, Shane, aka Tony Dice. And that is Chat Bout Flim. Big up on yourself.